Who is the most talented division in the NFL going into the 2020 NFL season? In this video, I will break down the AFC West's best players, most talented players across the board at every position on offense, every position on defense, the most talented players on the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders. Before I give you the all-star team of the AFC West for 2020, make sure that you do spike the like button, subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL videos just like this, and comment below your opinion. Let me know in the comment section below who you think should be on the AFC West all-star team going into 2020. Do you agree with my selections? Let me know in the comment section below. A lot of people would argue the best player in all of football right now, and that is Patrick Mahomes, the Super Bowl winner, the MVP of 2018. Patty Mahomes already in his young career has one of the greatest resumes I've seen for a young quarterback, arguably the greatest resume for a two-year starter in the history of football. Mahomes is already considered one of the most talented throwers of the football in league history and will lead the way for the AFC West. He will be handing the ball off, probably not frequently, but just enough, to Jacobs of the Raiders, who had an amazing rookie season. I think Jacobs really showed that his game transfers from college to the NFL because he has great power, ability to break tackles and run in between the tackles. That's what gives the first and second down approach of Jacobs in this backfield. And then you have a guy out of the backfield as a receiver like Austin Eckler, who can pair with Patrick Mahomes and the Andy Reid offense. Austin Eckler is an excellent route runner. He is an excellent receiver. You can put him anywhere. He's great on screens. And by the way, Austin Eckler is a pretty good runner. He was better than Melvin Gordon last year. There's a reason they moved on from Melvin Gordon, because Austin Eckler is the superior player all around. And Eckler will team up with Jacobs, a perfect power, speed, and quickness combo for the AFC West. At the wide receiver and tight end positions, you start off with Tyreek Hill, the fastest, most electrifying receiver in the NFL today. Hill can catch the football anywhere on the field and take it the distance, whether that's a deep bomb or it's drawing double teams so that other receivers can get the ball underneath, or it's a screen, or it's a handoff. You just get the ball into Hill's hands and you let him be, because he's just so incredible. I've never seen a player stop and then accelerate as fast as Tyreek Hill. Just stop and then run full speed. That is something else. The opposite receiver will be Courtland Sutton of the Denver Broncos, because Sutton is that bigger target. He's going to be able to go up and snag the football in double coverage, contested situations. Sutton really proved that last year as the go-to number one guy for the Broncos. He's going to be that for many years going forward for Denver. And then you put Keenan Allen in the slot, who is probably the best pure route runner in the division. He is extremely unique in his route running and setting up his routes and never allowing a corner to understand where he's going to go. He's very deceptive. He has very good hands, very good body control, and he's really tough in the middle of the field. So those three receivers complement each other almost perfectly in the basketball team sense. You have the speedy guy, you have the big tall guy, and you have the crafty slot receiver. At the tight end position, of course, it's Travis Kelce. I would say, though, the AFC West, Darren Waller is also in this division as well. So you have a division that has some tight ends. And yeah, Travis Kelce's still the best, though. He is one of the best tight ends of the last 10 years and one of the best pure receivers at the tight end position I've ever seen. He has gotten a little bit better with his blocking, but really what you're looking for Kelce is the great route running ability, great after the catch ability, and just great chemistry with Patrick Mahomes. On the offensive line, you start off with the tackle position. Of course, you have on the right side a guy that already protects Patrick Mahomes in Mitchell Schwartz, who many would argue is the best pure pass blocker at the right tackle position in the league today. At the left tackle position, you have Brian Bulaga, who has been a right tackle for Green Bay, but is supposedly going to be playing left tackle for the Chargers going forward. The left tackle spot is not as great right now in the AFC West. You could argue maybe you put Trent Brown there, who was a left tackle for New England, but plays right tackle for the Raiders now. You could look at maybe Bowles for the Broncos, but I think Bulaga has been the most consistent for the longest period of time, and even though he needs to switch positions, he'll be doing that in the real NFL this year. You go to the interior, and it's dominated by the Raiders. You have Incognito at left guard, who came back to football and just took off again. I mean, he's such a gritty, just tough, physical, powerful guard, and he's excellent in the running game. Hudson is the same way at center, who's a big mauler at that position. And at right guard, you have the same type of player. Glasgow, who just recently came over from the Detroit Lions, is one of the top, I would say, 15 guards in football, and is another guy that first and foremost is excellent in the run game. So you have Glasgow, Hudson, Incognito forming a dominant interior run blocking trio. Then you move to the defensive side of the football, and we're talking about edge rusher on top of edge rusher. You have Joey Bosa on one side, and you have Von Miller on the other. And that's keeping two guys off the squad like Chubb in Denver, Melvin Ingram for the Chargers. You also have Frank Clark of the Chiefs. All these guys are not going to be on the team because you have Von Miller, one of the best defensive players of all time, period. One of the best pass rushers of all time, period. And Joey Bosa, who, he's excellent off the edge. He's quick, but he has great power as well. And he has a great first step off the line. The interior duo, maybe not as impressive as the edge rushers, but the interior duo is pretty awesome in its own right. You have Chris Jones, who's one of the best pass rushers from the interior spot in the league. He's a dominant force for the Chiefs and a huge reason they won that Super Bowl last year. And then you have Jarrell Casey, who was just recently added to this division after being traded to the Broncos. He's excellent in the run game. So two guys that complement each other very well in the interior. Moving to the second level at the linebacker position, this is probably the weakest position for the AFC West. And I would say it's the weakest overall in the league, the linebacker position. But you have Corey Littleton, who just signed with the Raiders. He's really, really good in coverage, and that's what you're looking for when you have such a dominant pass rush. You need guys in the back end that can cover, and Littleton can cover those tight ends sometimes. He can cover running backs. He's just a really good sideline-to-sideline playmaker. And then you also have Alexander Johnson, who's one of the more underrated players in the entire league of the Broncos beside him. Then you go to the secondary. The secondary in the AFC West, the only one that I would say is better is the AFC East. But the AFC West go right toe-to-toe with it. I mean, you have Justin Simmons of the Broncos, who's another player that not enough people know about, but he had an amazing season last year. He's excellent in man-to-man coverage. He could play free safety. You have Derwin James, who can do everything at strong safety. He could cover guys man-to-man. He could play zone. He could come in the box and just be like an extra linebacker. He can play linebacker. So Derwin James, Simmons, two athletic freaks at the safety position. Cornerback spot, you have a lot of guys that can play a lot of different places, and that's what I like about this trio. So you have Chris Harris, who's mostly known for his ability to play in the nickel, but he can also play on the outside. You have Hayward, who's the same thing, can play nickel or he could play outside. So you have two different corners who could play everywhere and match up based on the other receivers on the opposing team. And then you have Tyrann Mathieu at the DB position who could play as an extra safety, or he could play as a corner. He could play nickel. He could play linebacker. So you could do a lot of different things with this secondary. So much versatility and flexibility with what you want to do with your scheme and how you want to match up. So I really like this secondary a lot. You start off with Butker at the kicker spot, one of the best long-range kickers in the league, one of the most consistent kickers in recent seasons. The punter is A.J. Cole, who's kind of sneaking under the radar as a younger punter in the league. And then you go to the returner, Mecole Hardman. You could argue this is also Tyreek Hill as well, but I wanted to add an extra player. So Mecole Hardman, who is now officially mostly the returner for the Chiefs. Every once in a while they throw in Hill, but Hardman's awesome in his own right. He has a great ability to burst. When he sees that hole, he's going to hit it hard, and he's gone. And then the coaching is awesome. You have Andy Reid. He's probably the second best head coach in the league right now. He's an excellent offensive mind. The offensive coordinator, I went with John Gruden. John Gruden's an excellent offensive mind. Reid and Gruden know each other. They run similar offenses. They have similar philosophies in that regard. So you could maybe put Gruden at head coach or Reid at OC, whatever you really want to do there. You could decide yourself. And then Fangio at defensive coordinator. He's been one of the best defensive coordinators for like the last 20 plus years in the NFL. He has tons of experience and now is the head coach of the Broncos. That trio is an excellent coaching trio, and that is an excellent AFC squad. That might be the best in the league. I think the AFC West, AFC North are very close. AFC South and AFC East maybe a little bit underneath them, but all very talented. I think the AFC West is perhaps the most intriguing to watch because of all the playmakers they have. Let me know in the comment section if you think the AFC West team is the best in the AFC or the league, and let me know if I missed anyone that you think deserves to be on the squad. It's Mitch of TheBottomLineView. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, Gronk, spike the like button, subscribe for more. Peace.